excuse me, coughed at the same time as saying hello and welcome. Hi, my name is Janice B Gordon and welcome to this Wednesday Wisdom. We're going to be talking a bit about customer service, but really about customer experience and how you can use it in your business to grow your revenues. Because as you all know, without customers, you don't have a business. We really need to look after them. But this is really a game changer for businesses to really enable them to look after their customers, keep their customers loyal. But I'm going to talk to you more about this. Now, I do know that it's really difficult in business. You're so involved in the day-to-day, it's really difficult for kind of like look up. So I'm really grateful that you've taken time out today to join me in this Wednesday Wisdom. So, you know, get your coffee and have your lunch, and hopefully you'll feel that, you know, you've learned something and really kind of taken away things that you can do in your business, because that's really what I do. I make life simple for you so that you can grow your business. So these Wednesday Wisdoms is really about kind of blowing the lid on business terms that you may have heard about, but you don't really know how to use it in your business, or you're using it in your business but you're actually not really getting the maximum effect. Or, you know, in your companies as well, you may have a department control of one thing but not of another. You know, so it's really important that businesses, organisations have a clear focus on their customer. Customer experience enables you to transform your systems and processes so that they work for your customer. So I'm going to talk to you about that. So, I used to work for an innovation company called What If, and there's from one of the projects that we did, this was years and years ago, so that's why I can talk about it. We worked with AOL, and we got their designers and technicians, this was Germany, France and the UK, and set up these journeys, customer journeys. So we identify some of their users and customers and got their technicians and designers to sit with them to follow a plan, so that the customer had to, I can't remember what it was now actually, they had to either buy something or find something online, and the designer or engineer had to sit with them. So if it was in a dark room on the bed where the user normally did their searches, then that's where the engineer had to sit with them so they could really understand the environment of their customers that they were designing for. And so the thing that came out of that is that the designers realised that they designed one path but customers took another path. So it really opened their eyes as to what they were designing for. So designers and engineers and technicians have one mindset, the customer has another mindset. And the thing is, what they discovered was the customers always found the shortcuts. The customers created shortcuts that they didn't actually design within the system. So they learned loads. But what was really important, they learned lots about their customer, how their customer worked, where the customer worked, so that they could design to make it easier for their customer to use their systems and processes. So it was really a revelation, and the customer gained a massive amount of respect within the organisation, because the designers and engineers, the almighty, realised that actually they didn't really have the best solutions. Often the customers did. So it started them to think about how they can evolve the organisation around the customer. And that's brilliant. That's what customer experience is all about. Now, you don't need to be a large global company. You know, any company can actually do this, really designing your systems and your processes around the customer, really having the voice of the customer in your head, really understanding the profile of your customers. Now, too often I meet organisations that really only speak to their customers when they want to sell something, which is tragic. It's absolutely tragic. Nowadays, with the internet and social media, it's so easy to actually touch your customer, to get in contact with your customer, to speak to your customer, to follow your customer, to listen to your customer. It's all out there. You just need to develop systems and mechanisms within your organisation, within your business, within your company to do that. Customer experience allows you to do that. It makes you a customer-centric organisation if you do it right. So I want to help you to do it right. I really want to help you to understand what you can do within your organisation, within your businesses, to really help you remain relevant, to help you to be sustainable and to make your revenue sustainable as well. And it's all down to your customers and the relationship you have with your customers. So, you know, customer service, it's really kind of misunderstood, that people don't really understand where that comes in with customer experience. And it's been something that's been around for a long, long time. So people, organisations understand the role of customer service much better than they do customer experience. But customer service fits inside customer experience, but it's only a very small portion of it. You know, if your focus is on customer service, it's very much like bolting the door after the customer's already left. Customer service is about putting right, you know, things that have gone wrong, or making sure that the service is on track, which are all very good things. But it's very reactive. You know, it's only when the customer does something that you do something. Whereas customer experience is very much proactive. It's very much looking at what is right for your customer, looking at how your customer interacts with the company, and to make sure it's easy for them to interact with your company and with your business. And it's really breaking it down. So it's about understanding the customer's journey and learning about what the customer's experience is from the moment they become aware of your brand or your business, through to them thinking about buying a product or service. And it's really breaking all of that down. So that's the journey that the customer goes on. So when you hear the word journey, that's what they're talking about. So it's from the first awareness, not only to where the product's been sold, but really after, because that's when you really build the relationship with your customer after they've brought their product. So it's a continuum. It really does go on and on, the customer's journey. It evolves and changes, and you need to do that as well with the customer. So it's really about understanding you must create the best experience to make the journey for the customer simple and easy, so that customer keeps coming back. So it must be really simple, clear, efficient and enjoyable for the customer. And that's really what your objective is, to make it simple, easy, efficient and enjoyable for the customer. So think of some of your own experiences when you're out shopping. It's not always seamless, is it? And it's not always enjoyable, is it? And that's really what you're trying to avoid, because we're all customers for other companies. So when you've got your own business, your own company, you're working within an organisation, you really need to think about it as if you're that customer. You need to think about it from the customer's experience. So, you know, is your customer experience easy? Can you really answer that question? Do you know? Do you actually monitor it? Do you have the feedback? Can you prove that? And if you can't, if you don't know that, then you've not really broken down that whole journey. And the way that you do that is you break it down into touch points. Now, so these are the 5 reasons why a strong customer experience is really important to your business, to the sustainability of your business and the revenues in your business. And so, you know, today it's really, really easy for other competitive organisations to copy what you're doing. Really, there isn't anything that's original nowadays. And the reason why branding is so big is to create that point of difference in what is probably a commodity product, really. You know, we pay so much more for branded goods, but actually when we break it down, you know, it's very similar, the contents, to the own branded products, really. So you're paying for the branding. So, you know, that's why organisations do it, and I get that, and it's great. But, you know, like, it's really about thinking about what's the other thing that you can do, and it's really about the customer experience that creates the loyalty. And also it'll enable the customer to want to spend more if it's something that they really enjoy, that's simple, that's frictionless, that's easy for them to do, and they really feel that it makes them look good. Because that's what customer experience is all about. It's about making the customer feel good and look good, rather than making you or your company or your business or your organisation look good. It's really about turning the organisation inside out and outside in, and really having an easy flow and being transparent. Customer experience enables you to do that. So I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons why you really must be on it with your customer experience. So the first thing, it costs less for you to maintain your customer relationships, to keep your customers, than to acquire new customers. We all know that, but this is one way of actually doing that. You know, if it's going to cost you less, you really need to value the customers and value the customer experience. It's also more effective for you to be able to cross-sell, to sell more products to the same customer that really trusts you, trusts your organisation, your business, than to acquire a new prospect for a different product that you may have. And so you're able to really grow your revenues by cross-selling your existing customer base, because they absolutely love you and they're loyal to you. And then it provides the experience that the customer really values. It builds the relationship. It keeps them loyal. And so it diminishes the churn. They're not going to go somewhere else just because it's cheaper, because they're really happy with the experience, with the service they get from you. And then it improves the share of your wallet, because you've got more of your customers that are loyal and they're staying with you, and you're able to cross-sell, so that, you know, you're gaining more customers, but importantly, you're keeping those customers. And so your margins are higher, because you haven't had to pay all of that money to keep acquiring new people, because you're losing your old people out of the bottom of your business. And then really it creates fantastic word of mouth. You know, do you think about it, when you've had a great experience, you tell someone, don't you? You know, you share that experience, you share that wonderment, really. So if you can really satisfy and wow your customers, they're going to keep coming back for more, but they're going to bring other people on board with it. And as we all know, word of mouth is the best way to grow your business. And so if you keep your customers happy, a lot of that will happen. It's a consequence of great customer experience, having loyal customers. So it really elevates their satisfaction level to a level where they're willing to talk about it. And that's really what you want to achieve. And so really, those 5 things, it's a bit of a no-brainer. So why aren't more companies doing it? Why aren't more companies doing it? Because they don't always know how to do it, and they don't know how to do it really well, and they don't know how to break it down. And you have all of these companies that having all of these really complicated monitors and systems, and you pay a fortune for it. You know, really, it's about, you can take post-it notes, you can have a wall of post-it notes, and really kind of like start to analyse the relationships that you have, the journeys that your customers go on, and really where are the blockages. So friction in a business is when it's not flowing, when you see a queue that's not moving, when it's really sluggish, when it's difficult. That's what friction is. So what you want to do is you want to create frictionless processes within your business. You want it to be easy. You want it to flow. That's what the aim is, and that's what the aim of customer experience is, making it easy for your customer, giving them greatest level of satisfaction to do business with you more often, and to bring on board more customers, more like-minded people who absolutely love what you do. So that's the aim of it. So how do you go about doing this? What you need to do is you need to break that journey down. So you break it down into touch points, and touch points are the interactions that you have with your customer. So it could be online or offline, you know, and remember, the journey is not only from the customer when they've purchased, the journey is from when they first become aware of your business and think about buying your products or service. So when you're looking at touch points, it goes back way before they've ever brought anything. It's the touch points will be the awareness in the media, online, all of these things really. And you need to gauge what the potential customer, the prospects actually think of your business. And it goes all the way to when they've already purchased something and really what the after sales view might be or experience from a user's point of view. Are they satisfied with it? With, you know, all of those things really, you know. And the customers that keep coming back for more, you need to also survey them as well. These are your loyal customers, and they're the ones that can really add value in that they can start to help you to design more of your products and services. So what you're doing in the journey, and when you're looking at the journey, you're looking at breaking it down to all of those touch points when your customer interacts, sees anything from your company. So it's the touch point is the kind of crossover between your customer and your business or the product or the service or the brand, whatever it may be. You need to map all of those things, and this is why I say you can do it with post-it notes. So you look at all of the different journeys that different types of customers go on, and then you need to prioritize them really. Which are the most valuable to you, the most significant, the most important to you? Which are the ones that are most problematic? You know, which are the ones that have more to be gained from them, the less competitive or the more unique. However you analyze those journeys, you need to prioritize them, because you know you need to start somewhere. So start with what you feel is a priority for you. And then having broken down that particular journey, look at where the friction is, look at where it's sluggish, and when you're looking at it, that particular touch point, the kind of questions you're asking yourself is, you know, who, what, why, how, when did it happen? You know, who's involved in this? What different departments or suppliers might be involved in? What types of customers? When does it happen? How often does it happen? So it's all those types of questions. Why does it happen? Why does it happen frequently or infrequently? What is the kind of character behind all of that? So you really need to delve down into that touch point with the, you know, what, why, who, and really analyze what's going on. And it's really at that point you can start to understand how you can make those improvements, who's involved in it, so who you need to speak to. What you need to do is start with the end in mind. So what is your ideal customer experience? You know, what would that look like? And just, you know, graph that out, you know, kind of like what is at that touch point, what is the ideal? So what you've got the touch point, you've identified the touch point, and you've identified all of the friction areas and who's involved. And then you've got what your ideal is, how you would really like it to go. And you might even ask your customers. It's always great to keep asking your customers. One thing that you should always do is when a customer surveys and it's not a great survey, they haven't enjoyed the experience, you need to thank them, you need to reward them. Because it's really important to remember when you get a complaint or you get a poor report, tens, maybe thousands of other customers have not reported that back and have moved on to another competitor. You don't want that to happen. So a customer that is willing to tell you where you've gone wrong, they're also often willing to tell you how you can put it right. So use your customers' experience, you know, really get them involved and thank them for telling you where you've gone wrong. Because the thing is, what you don't know, you can't put right. And so it's really important to have insights and to get feedback. And even if it's bad feedback, it's great feedback, really. It's brilliant feedback, because now you can do something about it. So you can identify, you know, where all the problem areas, where are most of your complaints, and put all that together and start to analyse that. But you also want your ideal on the other side as well, you know, and your customers can tell you what is their ideal, how they would like it to go. You need to gather all of that information. So you're not designing a touch point, a process, a system from your point of view. You're designing it it with your customer in mind, from your customer's point of view. You're asking them, you're testing it with your customer. And this is how you can start to really improve your customer's experience of your business, in your business, by actually having your customer's perspective. You are not your customer, so you really want them involved at every stage in your business. You want every opportunity where you can get it to survey them, to ask them, to really gain your customer's experience of your business. But you've got to be transparent. You've got to use that information. It's got to filter through to the relevant areas in your organisation to change it. Because, you know, remember, when one person complains, it's probably tens of others that haven't bothered telling you, that have walked away. So you've got to take it seriously, and you've got to thank the customers and be transparent and tell them what you're going to do. Thank them for their recommendations of how they can put it right. Tell them what you're going to do. Give yourself a time scale and really commit to putting it right, making those changes in the organisation, because you cannot afford to lose more customers out of your neglect of actually listening to your customers or actually acting on what your customers tell you. So listening is not just, you know, when things have gone wrong. Listening is also when things are going right, but also looking at what the marginal improvements you can make. So in creating great customer experiences, what you are looking at is the whole journey before they've even purchased and way after they have purchased. And you're looking at that is the journey. Then what you're doing is you're breaking it down into the touch points, the points of interaction, the points of when the customer becomes aware. So it can be online and offline. Then you want to do is really analyse within your front-facing staff, you know, what their feedback has and how they've surveyed and what their experience is, because they're the ones that are closer to the customer. So they're the most important people in your business, not the directors. It's the people that are interacting with your customers. So you really need to get them involved in the whole kind of process re-engineering of the systems and processes within your business, because they're the ones that really got insight into their dealings with the customers and how the customer thinks and what the reactions are. So they are the most important people. The people front facing are really the kind of core to your business. And so once you've got that, you've got your ideal as well. What is the ideal experience that you want to create? And you've broken that down into each of the touch points. So you really know what you're aiming for. And then what you want to do is rework the process, rework it, test it, measure it, evaluate it, refine it, and rework it. And that's continuously reworking. Now, if you're in a company, your business, you know, you have some real kind of friction in your business, and they're the priorities, and that's what you're dealing with first of all. Don't think that you're going to, on the first kind of run through, get an amazing experience. What you want to do is move it from bad to good. And then in the next round, you're going to move it from good to great. And then in the next round, you're going to move it from great to excellent. You know, so what you want to do, you may have something that's good and something that's really bad. You start with the really bad and just bring it up to good. You know, you've got to be realistic about this. And it's almost like, if you imagine you've got all of these plates, you know, and you've just got to keep going round and, you know, turning these plates to keep the plates spinning. And that's what you're doing. That's what marginal and consistent and continuous improvement is. And that's when things really do kind of move forward. And it's about being realistic about what you can do. You really need to understand, you know, what are your resources. You know, there's a limited amount of working capital money in the business, and there's a limited amount of time. So you've really got to invest in the areas that are going to give you the greatest gain. You know, so it's about understanding all of the processes, where the greatest losses, where the areas that are most problematic? Where are the ones that you can really kind of change quickly? And, you know, where are the ones where you can bring it up to, you know, an average good from, you know, kind of the areas that are touch points that are bad to excellent. So you really want it like this. You want it to be a consistently easy process for your customer to move through. And it can be that, you know, it was good and then next year something falls out, you know, something doesn't work, whether it's online and offline, and it changes. So you've got to be monitoring it all the time. You can never take your foot off the customer experience pedal, because there's new customers coming in and there's loyal customers that are coming back, and you want to make sure that you keep the level of service satisfactory to your customer. Now, sometimes we aim way too high. You know, we want everything to be excellent, and it's not really realistic, because we just need to keep it moving. Remember, you know, one of the signs is a sluggish or a queue that's not moving. You just need to keep it moving. And so customer experience is about keeping it moving and making it from poor to good, and then the next round from good to great, and then the next round from great to excellent. And it's hard to maintain that all the way along, but that's what you need to do. And you know, it's so important for the 5 reasons I spoke about, because you know, you make more margin on your existing customers. You can cross-sell, and you need to make sure that their level of satisfaction is of a level that they expect, not what you expect, what they expect. And how do you know what they expect? You need to ask them, you need to survey them, you need to have a clear idea of who are your core customers so that you can actually do that. You need to keep a dialogue with them at all times, and where you can gain feedback by surveying, asking them questions, and really kind of like valuing your frontline staff, because actually they have a lot of the answers, but they often don't feel valued enough. So customer experience really can be the difference of your business dying a slow death by not really taking care of that, or your business really excelling. Now, customers, if you think about your own shopping experience, you don't expect excellence all the time. You actually expect, sometimes it's just down to speed. Now, you know, think of McDonald's. I never eat McDonald's, but I have seen that McDonald's are now changing a lot of their old order systems to a touch screen. I don't know if you've seen that as well. And McDonald's are brilliant. They really do understand their customers very, very well. And their customers, this is just a commodity, fast food. They've got choices to go other places, but they come to McDonald's. The reason why they come to McDonald's, and the reason why McDonald's have got a loyal customers, is speed. Speed. This is what their customers value, speed of service. And so, you know, like with other businesses, kind of sit down restaurants, that speed isn't quite so important to the customers. But with McDonald's, fast food, speed is important to them. So, you know, they are making more of their touch points, interactions, self-service, by having this self-service order touch screen. So you order and you just pick up. McDonald's I think were one of the first companies that did the drive-through. We've even got it in the UK now. It's been a big thing for many years in America, where literally you order and you drive through and you pick up and you're eating in the car. Yeah, but so, you know, McDonald's really understands their customers. So my point is, you've got to understand your customer and what their preferences are and what they value. There is no point creating a customer experience based on speed when your customer doesn't value that. All you're doing is creating problems and more complaints within your business, within your processes. And you're creating processes that are not valued by your customer because you haven't asked them, because you don't understand your customer. McDonald's does, and this is something that they've really embraced. They want speed, so you create those types of service. So what kind of service in your business are important to your customers? Do you know? If you don't know, you need to start talking to your customers. You know, like, show some love and let me know whether, you know, this is really resonating with you, whether you can really think of, you know, how you can start to break down the journey that your customer goes on. Is that something that you have done or can do? How you look at your touch points, the interactions that you have with your customers, whether online or offline, and how you can start to break down those touch points by the who, what, why, when, and really start to analyze where the friction is, and, you know, where it's sluggish and not moving fast enough, or where it's, you know, you get a lot of complaints in that area. There's something that's actually going wrong, where you can really start to analyze that. Are you really clear about what the ideal experience is? Have you asked your customers? Do you know? You know, if you don't know, then you need to know what you're aiming for when you're designing or process re-engineering, reworking a lot of the processes within your business to make them easy. Remember what I said, you know, it's about being easy, it's about being efficient, it's about being simple, it's about being enjoyable. That's what making a great customer experience is. And it's not about being excellent. Customers don't expect excellence. What they may expect or what they may value may be speed, like in the case of McDonald's. It may be they value the shortcuts in the example I gave you with AOL, you know, because the customers found them, so they value them. And it was really something that the engineers really learned at AOL. What do your customers value? Do you know? When was the last time you asked them? So it's really important that you are engaged with your customer, their preferences, their wants, their needs, how they want it, why they want it that way, so that you can design your business around your customer, that you really have a clear idea of your customer's perspective by asking them, by surveying, that you really value the frontline staff within your business, you know, really value those experiences that you have with your customers. But it's always an opportunity to ask them a question about how they found the experience of working with your business, working with you, you know, how they would improve that, what more they would want. These are, you know, customers love to be asked their opinion. We all love to be asked our opinion. We're all waiting for you to ask us our opinion. We're all opinionated, you know, but the thing is, customers don't often get an opportunity because they're not often asked enough. So I'm really appealing to you to value your customers enough to ask them. Just ask them, and you will be amazed. Just like the AOL engineers and the work that I did many years ago, really started to understand what they were designing for. And in your business, you can do this as well. So really understand your customer's experience. You've got to understand who your customer is, and you've got to understand the process they go through, the journey, and really start to break it down so that you can rework it and you can test it and make it as easy, as smooth, and as enjoyable experience as possible. So the easier you make your customer experience of working with you, the loyaler your customer becomes, the more they will recommend your business. And you know, that's what we want in our business. So I would like you to think about what thing you can do tomorrow in your business to actually start you on a journey of improving your customer's experience. What you can do if you're already on that journey of customer experience, to look at really analysing, reworking some of those processes. Ask yourself, when was the last time you spoke to your favourite customers? Start with your favourite customers. When was the last time you really kind of started to ask them some questions about what was their experience of working with you? How did they find out about this? And how would they improve it? When was the last time you did all of that? You know, companies don't do this nearly enough. And you know, what are your kind of your listening feedback mechanisms within your business? Are you following your best customers and clients? Are you listening to what they're putting out and what they're saying? Are you really understanding, where what their motives are and what their aspirations are, what their lifestyle is, what their preferences are, listening to what your customers, even what they say to you indirectly, can be almost as valuable as what they say to you directly, because these can provide indications that they're about to go somewhere else. And if you're actually not listening out for them, you're not watching what they're saying, what they're doing and tracking them, then it's going to become a surprise to you. So customer experience allows you to be a customer focused and a customer centric organisation. That's the utopia, a customer centric organisation. If your focus in your business is around customer service, then you're just a customer focused organisation and you're reactive. But that's not going to enable you to build real loyalty, real trust within your business. If you want to be a sustainable, growing business into the future, then it's really about customer experience. And customer experience allows you to be a customer-centric organisation. And customer-centric means that you've got the perspective and you've got the will of the customer at the core of your business. So I'd love to hear more from you. Next week, I can't remember what I'm talking about next week, but I do Wednesday Wisdom every week at 1 o'clock. So I really do appreciate you showing me some love and commenting. Even after this is posted from the live version, I always go back and look at your comments. I'd love to hear whether, what I've said has resonated with you, if you think differently about customer experience and you now understand the differences between the two, when if you've understood touch points and friction and frictionless business and all of these terms that are floating around, you think, that doesn't relate to me. Well, it does. It relates to you if you're running a business, if you're in a business, it certainly does, because this is all about making sure that your customers come back for more and that your customers are happy to recommend you and they enjoy the experience they have with you in your business, with your business. So thank you very much for listening to me. Make sure you show some love and share this. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you make a comment and I will definitely go in and answer them. So take care. See you next week. Bye.